Mercury retrograde. So congrats, we're halfway there, my babies, my cosmic family. But I wanted to share with you because this is a day where Mercury is conjoining the sun, and it can really bring on a lot of energy, and it kind of can be a culmination of things we've already been feeling during this Mercury retrograde cycle. So I wanted to share 2 archetypes to embody today and perhaps for the rest of this Mercury retrograde. I'm a big believer in archetypes to do embodiment work because it helps take spiritual principles off of the paper and into your everyday life. And I use archetypes as check-ins. Where am I, not embodying this archetype? How can I bring it in more? Archetypes are like dress up for the soul for me. How would this archetype move? How would this archetype dress? How would this archetype speak to that person? Walk through the city? How would this archetype approach a project? So the 2 archetypes that I would love and to embody myself, and I invite you to do the same today and also for the rest of the cycle. And these are 2 archetypes that I have seen change my life when I embody them, and I've really seen significant work with my clients when they do the same. So the first one is the sacred witness. This is an archetype that is all about observing, approaching your life with awareness and thinking and pausing before we react. And the sacred witness invites in an element of curiosity. So what do I mean by this? It's when something happens to you, an old pattern resurfaces, you feel yourself getting angry with your partner, or you find yourself frustrated with your boss or your finances, or you're just pissed off at someone in traffic ahead of you, just observing first, wow, I'm feeling this thing. Just feeling and observing our emotions is very powerful. And it gives us a moment to breathe before we jump into the reaction. And the reaction is usually comes out of our subconscious mind. So anytime we just breathe little space into that, you are well on your path to enlightenment doing that. And if not enlightenment, at least enjoying the fullness of your life. And when we're in the place of the sacred witness too, it really allows us to observe, why is this coming up? I am thinking of this Mercury retrograde in Pisces like a power jet, a power washer, the ocean's waters coming to break up that which is calcified and has been stuck, has been kind of holding us down in some kind of way. And it all coming up, we do have to look at it before we release it and look at what's being churned up by this Mercury retrograde in Pisces during Pisces season. And that thing that's being pulled up right now is for you to look at it and observe it and see where that pattern came from, where did that thought come from, where did that belief come from, so that way you can blow it out and clear the way for what's coming next. I have seen this happen so much in my own life and in my clients' life, especially during these last 2 weeks. The things that are coming up hold a treasure for you. We talked last night in our new moon circle about the things that are coming up from the bottom of the ocean. Some of them are dark and icky and you might not understand it, but what's coming up ultimately, when you look at it, has something for you, a gift. But we can only really tune into that gift when we're in a place of curiosity and thinking about, instead of why is this happening to me, why is this happening for me? Or also just looking at, I'm just going to watch and observe, and I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Okay, see what comes up. So that's the first archetype. The second archetype that is super powerful right now is the sacred comic or the sacred clown. For those of you who know me, know that I am obsessed with her and play medicine because it's the antidote to, I think, the things that ail us as a human sometimes. Being really heavy. There are very heavy things happening around us. There are things happening within us. Just being a human, it's a lot. There's a lot of pain and grief and trauma. But through a different perspective for our own. This ways to do that I have found is to not take everything so seriously. You know, we are a skin suit with some organs that it's protecting, and we're made of cosmic stuff, and we're just here to figure out the pieces of ourselves that we perceive, but we're not gonna get there if we're just like letting ourselves be bogged down. And laughter to me is, I know that feeling of having a rough day and then having a good belly laugh with a friend or a coworker, or just even, you know, from a meme that just catches you off guard. It like lifts that heaviness, that stagnation off of you. So I invite you to move through today, move through the next week, just trying to find some humor in situations. Humorlessness is dangerous, okay? We're not meant to be there. The famous civil rights activist, or not civil rights activist, but ACLU, he formed it, Clarence Darrow, he was an initiating class of it. He said, when you lose the power to laugh, you lose the power to think. And this was like turn of the century, but I think the words still apply. And one of my favorite quotes that I saw years ago with my cousin in an email from Maha Rose said, laughter and orgasm are my magic wands of ascension. And I think about that scene in The Witches of Eastwick, and they're laughing and they're floating and they're flying. And I think that is part of our medicine, and part of being a spiritually aligned person is looking for humor in things, and how can we let this roll off of us. And humor keeps us like a palm tree, you know, bending with the wind and what's happening. And humor allows us to allow like life to lead us, versus being like an oak tree that's gonna bend and snap at the first sign of pressure or storm coming through. So I invite you to embody the sacred witness. I invite you to embody the sacred comic, because you're meant to live a delicious life that maybe things aren't perfect all the time, but where you feel good. You deserve to feel good. And I'm taking this medicine just as deeply for myself. And when we do both of these things, and you can catch yourself in moments where you're not embodying that, and then you step into that, I promise you there is a magic that happens. I think it brings us into present moment awareness, which we know is possible. And I think it brings us into this moment of deep alignment with the universe, what Deepak Chopra calls synchrodestiny. It's like we're living in flow, we're allowing things to move to us, we're observing everything that comes up as a clue, as a breadcrumb, because the universe is conspiring to get us where we need to go for our soul's ultimate growth and our highest purpose, and to live in alignment with who we came here to be. All right? So let me know how those two things go for you. And if you're looking for more info on Mercury Retrograde based on your zodiac sign, you can check out the link in bio. I made some little YouTube videos that just give you a quick little hit, 2-minute message of, you know, what your messages and lessons are. So have a beautiful day, my cosmic babies.